Goals from Savitra Bhandari inspired the Nepali Eves as they came back from 2 goals behind to secure a draw against India in the friendly match, which concluded a while back in Chennai. Good evening, I am Prarambha Dahal. Let's begin with the main stories. Draft of House regulations prepared with provision to suspend parliamentarians sent to judicial custody. Impeachment motions to be concluded in 5 months. Only 4 hearings held in the writ filed against constitutional appointments 3 years ago. Delay and lapses of the constitutional bench raise questions on their existence. Some NATO allies question whether the current goal of 2% of GDP is sufficient with the war raging in Ukraine. Defense ministers to launch a discussion on adapting the spending target. And Scotland win the ICC World Cricket League 2 with 3 matches to spare, thrashed Namibia by a record margin of 10 wickets. Regulations Drafting Committee of the House of Representatives has concluded preliminary works of the draft. The committee has made some amendments to the previous regulations. Based on the regulations, members of the House of Representatives sent to judicial custody by any court of the country are to be suspended. The regulation has also included the arrangement which requires the impeachment motions to be mandatorily concluded within 5 months. Parliamentarians have also agreed for transfer of impeachment motions from one term of the House to another term if the Parliament has a period of less than 5 months remaining while the impeachment motion is filed. The regulation has also proposed for enhancing the role of Deputy Speaker. Effort has also been made to manage the questions and answers sessions with ministers and the Prime Minister to increase their accountability to the House of Representatives. The writs filed against the appointment of 52 individuals to constitutional bodies by the erstwhile government led by CPN UML chairperson KP Sharma Oli are still pending at the Supreme Court. The hearing have been scheduled and postponed numerous times in the past 3 years. The Oli-led government was back then engulfed in controversies for introducing ordinance for Constitutional Council to make appointments that critics called illegitimate. It was the 4th time to date that the hearing on the writs was scheduled at the Constitutional Bench and then postponed. In the past 3 years, the writs have been scheduled for 26 times. However, only 4 hearings have been held. In the meantime, the term of those appointed by Oli government is nearing an end. The Supreme Court has cited lack of justices and adequate time in the inability to hold the hearings. At present, 5 positions at the Apex Court are vacant, including the post of Chief Justice, while hearings at the Constitutional Bench are held just 1 day in a week as opposed to 2 days previously. The government, Parliament and the Judicial Council, meanwhile, have remained indifferent towards filling those vacant posts. Cases are piling up each day at the Apex body, which is currently operating under an acting Chief Justice. The Constitutional Bench alone has 254 cases to look at, which includes cases of federal and provincial elections that date back 5 years and a few others that are over 16 years old. Police have arrested a few individuals for their involvement in vandalizing, arson and theft during the protest of transport workers in Gongobu on Monday. 6 individuals have been arrested for their involvement in vandalizing police vehicles, police beat and arson. According to Nepal Police, cases have been filed against those arrested as provisioned by the existing laws, while additional investigations are underway. Police have also arrested 4 individuals for stealing mobile phones from Lotse Mall of Gongobu, while they have confiscated 2 sets of mobile phones, recharge cards worth 4,000 rupees and a set each of watch and earphone. Cases have also been filed against them. Meanwhile, DSP of Balaju Police Circle, Ravin Bista, has been transferred to Kathmandu Valley Police Office, Rani Pokhari, for failing to bring the situation under control at the earliest. After growing pressure to take actions against those involved in theft and arson, Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal has directed the security departments to proceed with actions. 2 police vehicles were completely damaged because of fire, while goods worth tens of millions of rupees were stolen from 2 mobile shops during Monday's incident in Gongobu. A bill prepared to amend some acts related to the money laundering prevention and promotion of business environment has been tabled as the first bill at the meeting of the House of Representatives. However, experts have expressed concern regarding the bill introduced to amend 16 separate laws, saying it may open doors to legitimize illegal wealth. The bill presented by Minister for Law, Justice and Parliamentary Affairs Dhruva Bahadur Pradhan at the House of Representatives today will amend 16 laws of the Money Laundering Prevention Act. If the bill is endorsed intact, wealth without sources can be legitimized by paying taxes. The bill will amend the Article 28 of the Money Laundering Prevention Act, based on which individuals with disproportionate wealth to income and unidentified source can legitimize such wealth by paying the highest amount of tax. However, this provision has drawn criticism from many, as they fear such an arrangement will open doors to legalize wealth generated from illegal means. Some experts, though, have claimed that the provision has been introduced based on international practices. In addition to the Money Laundering Prevention Act, the bill will also amend 15 other laws, including Cooperatives Act, Rashtra Bank Act, Tourism Act, Securities Act, and Human Trafficking and Transportation Control Act, among others. The bill has also introduced a new provision regarding the operation of casinos and regulation of cooperatives with a capital exceeding 250 million rupees by the Nepal Rashtra Bank. The Pashupati Area Development Trust (PADT) expects around 2 million devotees and pilgrims to reach the Pashupatinath temple on the day of Maha Shivaratri this Saturday. Organizing a press conference today, the PADT has said that all preparations for the Shivaratri festival have been expedited. Several subcommittees have been formed to decorate Pashupatinath temple premises for the Mahashivaratri festival. The PADT has added that around 4,000 volunteers, including scouts, will be deployed to ensure sound management on the day of the Mahashivaratri festival. The trust has arranged parking facilities in 5 places that include Tilganga Corridor, office of the PADT, Police Circle Gaushala and Srifal Chowr. The trust has also decided to allow operation of vehicles on one side of the road in the airport, Gaushala and travel route of the ring road, considering the traffic, and make necessary diversions if required. All 4 gates of the Pashupatinath temple are to open from 3 a.m. in the morning on the day of the Mahashivaratri festival. The construction of a road between Fising and Shakti in Chitwan has reached its final stage. The route has been considered an alternative to the Muglin-Narayan Ghat road section. The construction of the 45-kilometer road section between Fising and Shakti in Chitwan, which falls under the Prithvi Highway, is in the final stage. As the construction works of the road is progressing, it has drawn public interest. The construction of the 45-kilometer road section between Fising and Shakti in Chitwan, which falls under the Prithvi Highway, is in the final stage. The roadway has drawn public interest as travelers had faced difficulty traveling through the Narayangarh Muglin road section because of its obstruction on several occasions. The local residents too have hoped to witness development in the area after the roadway comes into operation. The roadway can be used to operate light-weight vehicles, while 90% of its construction works have been completed. However, risk of landslides persists as the road section has been constructed by cutting the face of the hill. The road section has not been blacktopped at 4 places because of geographical constraints, and construction of bridges are yet to be completed. The road, which has been contracted at 870 million rupees, will come into operation after concluding blacktopping and installation of traffic signals. The roadway can be used as an alternative to the Narayangarh Muglin road section during the monsoon season if the construction works pick up pace. In our Public Voice segment, we have asked regarding the assessment of local level's role in development of education. Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
विद्यार्थी संख्या अत्यन्तै कम भएका विद्यालयको दरबन्दीलाई अर्को ठाउँमा मिलान गरेर विद्यार्थी धेरै भएका ठाउँमा मर्ज गर्ने कुराहरू पनि गरेको देखिन्छ।
स्थानीय तहले त्यति सुधारउन्मुख किसिमले चाहिँ काम गरेको चाहिँ देखिएको छैन।
सामुदायिक विद्यालयबाट एससी उत्तीर्ण हुने छात्रलाई निशुल्क रूपमा चाहिँ अध्यापन गराउँदै आएको छ।
थारू भाषामा मातृभाषामा पढाइ हुने गरी पाठ्यक्रम निर्धारण गरेको छ।
उपलब्धिमूलक रूपमा शिक्षा क्षेत्रमा काम गरेको नदेखिरहेको अवस्था देखिन्छ।
शिक्षाको नाममा त केही गरिया छैन।
शिक्षा क्षेत्रको लागि पर्याप्त बजेटको व्यवस्था गरे तापनि बजेट अनुसार कार्यान्वयन भइरहेका छैनन्।
स्थानीय पाठ्यक्रममा राम्रो सुधार भएको छ।
एजुकेसन प्रणाली धेरै बिग्रिसकेको छ।
हाम्रो पालिकाले टोल शिक्षा कार्यक्रमहरु चलाइरहेको छ।
प्राविधिक शिक्षाहरुलाई निरन्तर अगाडि बढ्न सकेको छैन।
विद्यार्थीलाई दिवा खाजाहरु खुवाइरहेछ।
दरबन्दीहरुलाई परिपूर्ति गर्नको केही अनुदान रकमहरु पनि दिने गरेको छ।
अनुदानहरु बढी दिने, शिक्षकहरुलाई तालिम दिने गरिरहेछ।
It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Before we ask today's question, let us take a look at the result from yesterday's poll. Yesterday we asked, what do you think of the government decision to ease driving license test? 44% were for A, ease license distribution, 20% were for B, prevention of illegal license distribution, and 36% were for C, risk of increased accidents. Here is our today's question. What should be done to reduce the pressure of cases at courts? Your options are A, timely hearing, B, appoint required judges, and C, active role of judicial committees. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. It is now time for the international news. NATO defense ministers gathered in Brussels for the second day of a meeting expected to focus on military spending targets, with some allies questioning whether the current goal of 2% of GDP is sufficient with the war raging in Ukraine. At their Wales summit in 2014, NATO leaders agreed to move towards spending at least 2% of their gross domestic product (GDP) on defense within a decade. NATO's decision was a reaction to what it perceived as a severely deteriorated security situation in Europe months after Russia's annexation of the Ukrainian peninsula, Crimea. Almost 10 years after the Wales pledge and 1 year into Russia's invasion of Ukraine, NATO defense ministers will launch a discussion at their meeting in Brussels on how to adapt the spending target. A decision is expected at a NATO summit in Lithuania in July. It is now time for the sports news.
Sports news.
Scotland have won the ICC World Cricket League 2 with 3 matches to spare. In the match played today, Scotland thrashed Namibia with a record 10-wicket win. In the match played at the 3-1 University Cricket Grounds in Kantipur, Namibia were put to bat where they were bowled out for just 153 runs in 39.2 overs. Opener Andre Lawrence top scored for Namibia with 54 runs. Bernard Scholes scored 30, while Zane Green added 25 and Piquet France made 11. None of the other batters scored in double digits. Michael Lesk was the pick of the Scottish bowlers with 4 wickets, while Sofyan Sharif and Mark Watt shared 3 wickets each. In reply, Scotland chased the target in 22.1 overs without losing a single wicket. Opener Kylie Kotza and George Munsey put up an impressive batting display for the Scottish side. Kotza remained unbeaten at 46 alongside George Munsey, who scored 103 runs from 61 deliveries. His innings included 12 fours and 7 sixes. With the win, Scotland have 4 points from 33 matches, where they won 23 of them. Second-placed Oman have 44 points from 36 matches, while Namibia are third with 37 points from 32 matches. Scotland therefore have won the tournament with 3 matches to spare. Meanwhile, it is the largest margin win in terms of wickets for Scotland in one-day internationals. Prior to this, they had registered an 8-wicket win. The Nepal women's national football team came back from 2 goals behind to secure a draw against India. Late goals from Savitra Vandari inspired Nepal to earn a draw against the hosts in the friendly match played at the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in Chennai earlier this evening. Following a goalless first half, hosts India were put ahead in the 56th minute as Manisha's cross from the left was met by Soumya Gugulot's half volley at the far post. India then doubled their lead 12 minutes later as Indumati Kathiresan chested down Kartika's lofted pass and slotted in. Nepal reduced the deficit in the 90th minute as a handball from Swede gave Nepal a penalty, which was converted by Savitra Vandari. Samba then equalized for Nepal a minute later to level the scoreline. Nepal has lost the rights to host SAF Championship 2023. South Asian Football Federation has granted the hosting rights from Nepal to India. Yesterday's meeting of the South Asian Football Federation SAF decided on the organizers of SAF Championship 2023. Nepal was the only country to claim the hosting rights of the 14th edition of the tournament earlier. However, the All Nepal Football Association ANFA General Secretary Kiran Rai has said that Nepal was denied the hosting rights after main sponsors of the tournament insisted on organizing the regional mega football event in India. Rai and ANFA President Pankaj Nembang had attended the meeting. The regional football governing body had considered Nepal and Bangladesh as alternative host nations. General Secretary Rai has said that with the coming edition to be held in India, a proposal was floated to organize the next edition of the event in Nepal. Sponsors of SAF have insisted on holding every other edition of the tournament in India. Nepal had last organized the SAF championship in 2012, and Nepal also had crashed out from the semi-final round of the tournament following a defeat against Afghanistan, while the team had reached the final of the tournament for the first time in history in the previous edition, which was held in the Maldives, where Nepal lost 3-0 to India. Up next is the weather update. That is all for the moment. Up next is the news in Nepali. Thank you for staying with us. Goodbye for now.